Legislative Council South Australia is a state in the southern central part of Australia. It covers some of the most arid parts of the country, with a total land area of 983,482 square kilometres. It is the fourth largest of Australia's states and territories by area, and fifth largest by population. It has a total of 1.77 million people, and its population is the second most highly centralised in Australia, after Western Australia, with more than 77% of South Australians living in the capital, Adelaide, or its environs. Other population centres in the state are relatively small. Mount Gambier, the second largest centre, has a population of 28,684. South Australia shares borders with all of the other mainland states, and with the Northern Territory. It is bordered to the west by Western Australia, to the north by the Northern Territory, to the northeast by Queensland, to the east by New South Wales, to the southeast by Victoria, and to the south by the Great Australian Bight. The state comprises less than 8% of the Australian population and ranks fifth in population among the 6 states and 2 territories. The majority of its people reside in Greater Metropolitan Adelaide. Most of the remainder are settled in fertile areas along the southeastern coast and River Murray. The state's colonial origins are unique in Australia as a freely settled, planned British province, rather than as a convict settlement. Colonial government commenced on the 28th of December 1836, when the members of the council were sworn in near the old gum tree. As with the rest of the continent, the region has a long history of human occupation by numerous tribes and languages. The South Australian Company established a temporary settlement at Kings Court, Kangaroo Island, on the 26th of July 1836, 5 months before Adelaide was founded. The guiding principle behind settlement was that of systematic colonization, a theory espoused by Edward Gibbon Wakefield that was later employed by the New Zealand Company. The goal was to establish the province as a centre of civilization for free immigrants, promising civil liberties and religious tolerance. Although its history is marked by economic hardship, South Australia has remained politically innovative and culturally vibrant. Today, it is known for its fine wine and numerous cultural festivals. The state's economy is dominated by the agricultural, manufacturing and mining industries. Evidence of human activity in South Australia dates back as far as 20,000 years, with flint mining activity and rock art in the Coonorder Cave on the Nullarbor Plain. In addition, wooden spears and tools were made in an area now covered in peat bog in the southeast. Kangaroo Island was inhabited long before the island was cut off by rising sea levels. The first recorded European sighting of the South Australian coast was in 1627 when the Dutch ship, the Golden Zeepaert, captained by François Thijssen, examined and mapped a section of the coastline as far east as the Noitz archipelago. Thijssen named the whole of the country eastward of the Leeuwin, Noitz Land, after a distinguished passenger on board, the Honourable Peter Noitz, one of the councillors of India. The coastline of South Australia was first mapped by Matthew Flinders and Nicholas Bodine in 1802. Excepting the inlet later named the Port Adelaide River, which was first discovered in 1831 by Captain Collett Barker and later accurately charted in 1836-37 by Colonel William Light, leader of the South Australian Colonization Commissioners, First Expedition, and First Surveyor General of South Australia. The land which now forms the state of South Australia was claimed for Britain in 1788 as part of the colony of New South Wales. Although the new colony included almost 2/3 of the continent, early settlements were all on the eastern coast and only a few intrepid explorers ventured this far west. It took more than 40 years before any serious proposal to establish settlements in the southwestern portion of New South Wales were put forward. On the 15th of August 1834, the British Parliament passed the South Australia Act 1834, which empowered His Majesty to erect and establish a province or provinces in southern Australia. The Act stated that the land between 132 degrees and 141 degrees east longitude and from 26 degrees south latitude to the Southern Ocean would be allotted to the colony. And it would be convict-free. In contrast to the rest of Australia, terra nullius did not apply to the new province. The letters patent, which used the enabling provisions of the South Australia Act 1834 to fix the boundaries of the province of South Australia, provided that nothing in those letters patent shall affect or be construed to affect the rights of any Aboriginal natives of the said province to the actual occupation and enjoyment in their own persons or in the persons of their descendants of any lands therein now actually occupied or enjoyed by such natives. Although the patent guarantee